bomb, however, that's towards ramp. We'll see whether they can find the split they're looking for, potentially down towards lower.
Yeah, on the T-Pistol and Inferno, they had 3 P250s to try and find an opening. This time it's just the one that they're carrying around outside, you know, hoping that someone's going to be presenting themselves. And that's critical. What a shot from Rez. That's what they wanted. And now up close here, hat trick, a little bit of a fight. He wants to swing for it. He's got the backup here as well. They should be able to win this fight. It's taken a bit longer than you'd want.
Oh, no.
He's going to get traded. And that's the bomb, Henry, dropped in the trophy room.
It was looking so good for NIP, but some scrappy fights has led them to a 3 versus 3, and they've lost control of the bomb. Grim, lovely shot there with the USP, defending the ramp room valiantly. Rez pulls one back, 50 seconds remaining, and it's up to Elige and Floppy now to try and sink and shut down this assault towards ramp.
Yeah, they know where Elige is, so the X Factor is Floppy. They don't really have a good read. They could probably guess that Elige is going to be here somewhere. Now they know where Floppy is as well. So a little bit of confirmation on that one, down to 37 seconds. And defending the bomb, I could understand why Elige maybe doesn't want to stand on top of it because it's so obvious. You just want to try and be in the general area. 27 seconds. They're going to go for it here. And bomb's been picked up. Rez put under some pressure. They're hunting him down. He's seen both. And it's a great shot. Triple on him. And he's got time for the bomb plant here. This could be a sick round from Rez.
Well, it's all to play for now. The round is wide open, 1 versus 1, and Floppy, he's going to shut down the plant here, and he does so with style. That is an excellent maneuver. Rez didn't see it coming. Could have gone for the safe plant. They had plenty of time. Off to the Astralis plant, and Floppy 1 step ahead of him, and will be winning the round 4 complexity. 1-0, no plant down, and it all started with this beautiful shot there. We said Rez, haven't said his name too often, but that was a great chance to find some glory there. 3 frags in total, but Floppy shuts down his dreams and hopes there as we get into round number 2. No force buy, has to be the full eco, and Rez just getting a deagle considering he got $900 extra with those kills.
It's low-key kind of sick for Floppy to just go straight for it, because sometimes people end up outthinking almost themselves in those moments where they're like, oh, let me see if I can just fake it and triple fake it and go back to the vents and all the rest of it, and he just went straight for it. Elige taking a long fight on that second target outside, but he's going to be fine. I don't really mind it. All they have is Glocks and a deagle on the other side. So, yeah, you can take a couple of fights here if you really want to. Maybe a little bit careful. Gets jumped on. That's just a Glock doing a little bit of work. You're going to get one in return, and this is the cleanup. So far, only the 1 casualty in JT, and it's going to stay that way.
Yep, so far so good for the complexity boys in blue. We've all seen them go up 2-0, but that was a full eco, bear in mind. So the AK-47s come out now, and you've got residual weaponry in the form of the FAMAS, the MP9 here. So we saw Complexity take a timeout before in this sort of scenario on the previous map, just to discuss their options, what they would like to do on the back foot here in terms of firepower, but they'll continue as is. You're going to see Brolan sending up smokes towards outside, and we'll see if there's any sort of aggression if the CTs maybe playing on the front foot, trying to get some ramp control potentially, as they send Elige a little bit more aggressive towards outside, so going to be flashed in, hunting for info here early, Anders.
I really like that. You might as well try and establish this kind of control early on in the half and make the T's a little bit more scared. Because when they show up later, right, they have to use so many more grenades to clear out all the corners, or just more time. I mean, even now, if they ever want to get around that silo, they probably have to use a couple of flashes, maybe a Molotov in the corner to try and make sure that no one's hiding there. So I think it's worth it just to show up every once in a while and just show yourself in those positions. Grim going to get the first kill of the round, taking on Hetrick. And turns it into a 4-on-5. This is so far so good for Complexity. This is not their map pick.
No.
But if they can get off to that 3-0 start, I think they're going to be feeling a lot more comfortable.
1 minute remaining, Anders, and there's only Molotovs and a couple of flashbangs remaining here. They're going towards ramp, and this crossfire looks ideal. Floppy doesn't even need to frag hard. 1 or even 0 and surviving would be enough. This crossfire is looking very nice. He gets 1, and that's his job done. Needs to bait in Horzerk here. Keep the aggro if possible. He'll drop down. There's the swing. Really nice setup here. Floppy maybe oversteps the mark, but looks like the job is done. 40 seconds, 3 versus 1. Make it 0, and that's a solid ramp hold. A very clean round and enjoyable overall from Complexity. They're playing some very good CS today, I have to say.
Yeah, the double setup, and you could tell that they were not ready. No one on the T side was thinking that there was going to be a second player wedged up against the wall. So it just worked out exactly how you would want. Obviously, this is, you know, a bit fortunate. You get that one line up there, but it's also a pretty common angle to be shooting at.
You make your own luck in this world, Anders.
Very true.
The more you practice, the better your luck seems to get. As we will see pistols once more. Tech Nines
attacked when you say that, Henry.
Well, you've been practicing in other ways, you know. And we are going to see just a couple of flashbangs remaining here. They'll get down towards Secret. Hampus and Brolin, that is. The bomb still towards lobby. Molotovs outside now on the back of Config, but well handled once again. JT is reading them so well, and Horzerg starting to show some form now as well as they look for a 4-0 start here on the CT side of Nuke, their opponent's pick. Find themselves here with the early advantage and don't really have to do much more. They've got full control of the scenario thus far.
Yeah, probably fair to say that if that last map was your first time watching Horzerg play, you didn't really get a good sense of what he can really do.
True.
I did not to say that he's like one of the best AWPers in the world or anything, but he definitely has highlight moments that are actually really fun.
He's a flashy player.
Yeah,
for sure.
he is. Maybe got shut down a little bit on that Inferno map, but it could be different here. And why risk it? Yeah, I don't really blame JT for just playing it safely. This is about keeping the economy going as far as you can.
You're likely going to win this round. He's aware of that, but just keep it clean. No bomb plant should come through here. Make them work for any frag. Make them fully commit to a bomb site before they get anything. And he's doing a very good job of that so far. Very aware of the possibility of the double doors swinging open momentarily. Does get taken down. That's a huge frag. A dink comes in towards ramp as well. Floppy handles himself, gets the reset, finds a kill, but he is down to just 7 points of health here.
Super uncomfortable. They're retaking this bomb site with 3 people coming down from ramp and only Grim on the other side. So should be fine. Should still be a good retake here. They have the kits and everything else, and with that kill, it's pretty much set up nicely for them. Elige going to get that little bit of an opening on fake. It's just Hampus to the back line, and he gets absolutely out-sniped. Elige with a good shot. Head trick, he can make this more expensive, especially if he gets one more kill there, but Floppy's the only real low target, and he's way out of his range. So good Molotov, way more of an expensive round than you'd want, but still a 4-0 lead.
When you're up against the likes of Config, those rounds, those uncomfortable scenarios, it's going to happen. He's going to find some gaps. Like, you can never present the perfect game. They'd already done a very good job of running the clock down, being aware of their positional control. But yeah, Config, he's going to have these sort of moments here. JT, he's holding the right position. He's ready. Maybe could have been jiggling the angle a bit more, I suppose. But overall, it's just a great shot from Config. Gets to a close round, but they still get the win. 4-0. And we will see Complexity with the Horzerg AWP. And same story for Head Trick. Difficult to really get going on the T side of the sniper. We'll see what he can make of it. Options are towards Squeaky Door primarily, maybe towards ramp if you're not smoked off. And the exchange of grenades will come in nice and early here. Rez looking for any sort of aggression towards the hut. Elige boosted up behind the smoke here as well. No damage inflicted, but he does confirm that one is at least crossed.
Yeah, Hampus making a little bit of a play outside. This is where I think he's such a sick player, when you can see him try and beat this. Now, it's very hard to juggle when you're also the leader of the team, right. But this is actually where I think a lot of his power come from. We didn't really get to see it that much on Inferno, but there are definitely moments where Hampus is just breaking through and just, his internal timing of when to beat his opponents is really sick. So fun to watch him play. Definitely one of my favorite Swedish players at the moment.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Anders. That's a good opinion you've got there. Elige and Grim fighting off the upper assault here. They've got the man advantage for now, but can't hold on to it. This is more like it. NIP finding a lot of control towards upper here. Smokes go down. Bomb will be planted. AWP in the vents. Surely there's no window of opportunity for them to leap through. Horzerg will wait for any mistakes to be made. Anyone overstepping the mark, but it looks like they have done it. They've managed to find their first NIP with the upper take there. 3 players surviving after Rez and Brolan contributing with some key frags towards upper. Complexity, the money not amazing after that previous round. After losing 3 players down towards lower, the reinvestments will be significant. So it's important that they hold on to the little they have here, especially that AWP.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the silver lining for NIP in losing the first 4 rounds, is that, okay, well, at least we got some damage in. Right. They know this as well. Yeah, letting go of that hut position the way that they did just allowed for not just that they got out onto the bomb site, but they got such a deep angle towards Mini and towards that Squeak Door that they just couldn't really defend it. So well done on the NIP side, but yeah, now it's really crunch time for Complexity. If they want to continue this run and really put a huge amount of distance between the 2 teams, they need to win this next round in a really good way.
Well, like we said, Config is going to be a nuisance towards that main entrance.
Yeah.
That's what he'll be doing most of the heavy lifting on the T and the CT side. So watch out for that. Always a pleasure to watch when he gets going. And after getting 20 plus frags on the first map, you assume he'll be getting into 5th gear. We are going to see a couple of concessions. Primarily, it's going to be JT on the Desert Eagle here. Horzerg up close and personal with a sniper outside, joined by Elige. And we are going to see potentially an upper execution here. We're setting up 2 players with the utility on the T roof. Make it 3. So once this will be dropping over flashbangs, so there'll be 3 players heading towards upper. Now, the current trend is to focus towards a Squeaky Door rather than huts, allowing you to Molotov the hut and not have to worry about the rafters upon entry. You want to be smoking main and trying to flash off as much as you possibly can. We'll see if it works out for them. In they go through the hut this time. Good flashes. Overwhelming as Grim will find the first frag. JT chimes in as well. This is looking very good for Complexity. They entered the round with a pistol and 4 rifles, and so far so good. They've managed to maintain control of the upper bomb site.
It looked like everyone was so flashed, including the T players that were coming in. Just nobody could see anything, but Complexity got their eyes back just maybe a millisecond earlier than the defense, or than the offense coming in. So that was what did it, really. 3 versus 5 now, and about 45 seconds. So it should be just a matter of holding on to this round. You've got what you need, and the pressure is on NIP to try and find a way back into this one. And they can try and sneak down below. No one's really there, but
yeah,
by the time that they get there, they should be in a good position. Oh, Hampus with a shot. That actually does change quite a bit.
Huge kill. Running out of time, however. 25 seconds. Config needs to strike here. He's found an opening. He's doing damage here, but the timing works out for Grim. It now goes down to the 4 versus 2. Looking very, very good for Complexity here. And yeah, that's going to be it. No time. No positional control. They have to yield and give this one up after winning their first round. Almost breaking the money of Complexity. They answer back with a solid upper hold here. Not giving much away whatsoever. 1 second remaining. Config gets no extra cash for the next round. He does hold on to the AK-47, but the headline is Complexity up 5-1 here on the CT side of their opponent's pick. NIP struggling against these upper holds.
I think it's a really reasonable round to try for that kind of an A attack towards, because as you notice, there's not a lot of counter grenades coming down because the Complexity just probably didn't even have them. So it was really a good fight. They were fighting against, I think, 1 rifle and 1 deagle on the A-bomb side to begin with. So it's probably not a bad time to pull that kind of an all-in A execute, but it just didn't work out. Once you don't get the entries, then there's not that much left. And the timeout's been called for NIP.
We've been commending Complexity all day. Like, sure, they didn't win the first map, but the level of Counter-Strike, the fundamentals, the T-side calling, I thought was really impressive.
Sure, yeah.
Just in the hallways there when we were coming back from the first map, I did bump into James IRL, if you are familiar with him. He's now the analyst of Complexity. So not saying it's all him, but it's just cool to see him back in CSGO and contributing here. Been a while since we've seen him kicking around the events, so cool to see that. Few changes in the Complexity camp.
Yeah, kind of the unsung heroes in many contexts, right?
Yeah.
Those analysts that but there's so much work to be done in figuring out how
these days especially, yes.
Or even figuring out how the team, your own team, plays, right? You want to see if there are any trends that are too obvious or any big mistakes that are being made, and yeah, it just takes a lot of time. Elige confident with the AK out there.
He did look assertive, didn't he? Looked like that was going to connect all day long, but gets the info that wants towards Silo at least. Hampus, though, the slippery serpent makes his way down towards Secret. Always seems to get down there successfully, as we mentioned. It'll be Config who's going to be a nuisance as well towards that position. Waiting outside as well. He's on top of main roof right now. Good smoke from Horzerk. Understanding they're probably going for a split here. That's what they've been relying on, and he's actually called for a bit of backup as well. Elige is here with the AK-47. Rez, maybe 1 step ahead of it. They are ready and waiting.
Got so many people on the other side here. This is going to be a spray down. Would have been a 3rd T player there, even if that got out of control. I like the idea of the lobby crunch, and it can be really efficient, but obviously when you lose the first part of it, then there's no real good follow-up. 5 versus 3. There's nobody from the CT side down below at all. There's all NIP down here. And for Complexity, with the money in the bank again, it's not really worth going for it. It's so risky to try and go for this 5-on-3 retake. Wow. You don't even know where half the players are at the moment.
There we go. Simple but effective there, to say the very least from NIP. Going for the same outside execution, gaining control towards Secret, having Config towards main roof this time. And you could see the CTs losing all that vision and control towards outside. You're waiting for a reaction. You're almost forcing it from the CTs, and they were 1 step ahead of it. As I said, looked like Rez was ready and waiting for that smoke to fade, expecting CTs to be on the other side, just predicting they would be trying to regain control of another key area on the map, in this case lobby, once they lost outside. So very well read there from NIP. Lovely round, back to the basics, get the outside control, force a rotation, and then capitalize. So very well done. As this one's much cleaner. As they go 5-2, 2 players do survive. Make it 3 for Complexity. AK-47 for JT. Their money's in a pretty precarious spot, but the fact they've saved 3, they might as well buy into this one. And this is the chance now. If NIP can win one of these next couple of rounds, they should be able to break the finances, but unable to break through just yet. Good stuff. Nice little backstab from Grim. That's about all they got going in that round.
Henry, you could pick the complexity for this one, right? For a
Yes.
little pick'em game that we're doing.
Is there like a prize? Why does everyone take this so seriously? Everyone's asking me about the pick'ems there.
It is. I feel like there is like a level of seriousness, although I've noticed people take it more or less seriously depending on whether or not they're winning or not.
Yeah, true. So you could say I wasn't really trying. Look at the meme picks I was making. Is that the kind of philosophy people are going for?
You've uncovered my. I'm just playing it cool as long as I'm in, and usually end up falling behind pretty quickly. I'm like, I don't really care.
Well, then you kind of have to make the crazy picks at that point. If you're already down and out, you have to start going against the grain, right?
Something that I've noticed though, when this happens, like when you fall behind and you have to make the really crazy picks, like you said, you just get back into it. Sometimes you'll get approached by players and they'll say, "Oh, you don't believe in us to win it." I'm like, you don't understand. Like I'm trying to win a separate game from what you guys are playing. Like I'm not even like, don't take it personally. I'm just
All right, well, fair enough. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention to the pick'ems here.
You've really got to be careful.
But yeah, I will keep. I'll keep my eye on my back. We'll see what happens as we get into.
It's not done yet, you know.
It's day one. Yeah, I hope it's not done.
They've got so far so good. I mean, it's a 5-2 scoreline, right? So they could even win the map and push us on to a third one, which I believe would be on overpass. Quite excited to see if that was going to come out. Rez goes down here, and it's a 4-on-5 start with complexity. Look at the buy in this one, right? They've got some rifles. They got the Deagle there, but almost no grenades to follow. It'd be a miracle if they could win this round, and then that would revive their economy pretty quickly.
Big opening pick. Grim taking matters into his own hands, knowing their money was weak. They came into this one, or limped into this one, with a Deagle, a FAMAS, 3 rifles, and he had to find that first pick, and what a pick it was. Taking down Rez cleanly towards the hub. Massive contribution, and Horzak trying to use that space at advantage to see if he can get more information here. He might get a lot more than he bargained for. They're currently on the T roof. Might be out of time, but here comes a basic execution. I don't think they're committing off it. Also can do a lot of damage here. The smoke comes down, and it looks like Grim will be mowing them down. JT standing strong with the AK-47 as well. There's the Desert Eagle, but Hampus maintains control. Config, the last player remaining, but he's got the bomb handers. A 3 versus 1? Maybe. You never know.
It's exactly the kind of thing that Config really can do. It's what he's known for, but it has to get off the ground. It has to start to roll a little bit in his favor. He's got JT already low. That's a bit of a bonus.
A bit more active at the start. Hunt for this first kill, then the clutch begins. It hasn't really started yet.
No, not at the moment. But he's got a Molotov as well. They don't have a smoke on the other side, so that's a bit interesting. Oh, that's a very long spray. A little bit of a panic, I think, in throwing that Molotov. He's realized now, I just have to go for it now. JT's doing one with the kit, and he's going to be real careful. He sneaks on through, catches a leash, and now it's JT just out of time and out of teammates jumping down. Config, he's hunting for him. He realized, I've already won this. What a huge clutch to come out.
It wasn't his cleanest work. Wasn't his prettiest round. Won't be going in any frag movies. But the spray does connect eventually, Anders. It's a massive 3 versus 1. I can't believe he had the bomb on his back. And once again, slipping the net. He was a player on Inferno as well. If you remember, 15-14, they executed in towards being a 5-on-4 deficit. It looked like they were done for. Config snuck through the smokes. He snuck through in towards Coffins and saved the day. Took the game 16-14, and he's resurrected the team with that 3 versus 1 as well. Excellently played. Spray could have been a bit better, but still he gets the job done.
And the Molotov was even in a weird position, but it kind of forced he couldn't really hold the window the way that it was.
It shut down the pathing towards the bomb. They couldn't even get close to it, so it didn't do the damage. It wasn't on top of the bomb, but it was almost perfect at the same time.
You made it work. And that puts Complexity in a weird position. They have the AK that they saved. The rest of the economy is pretty much busted up at this point in time.
Well, this is what it was all leading towards, right? We said there's been a lot of those close rounds. Surviving with 2, 3 players on the CT side. You need to keep winning if you're going to maintain the economy. And as soon as you lose one of those sort of rounds, a 3 versus 1, which Config is going to win on this sort of environment where all these teams have got a lot of roster changes and they're not going to be as structured as usual, players like Config will find 3-on-1s. It's going to happen. And unfortunately, it strikes maybe the worst time here, just when your CT campaign was looking rock solid. He disrupts everything and brings you into a situation. We've got 4 pistols, 1 AK. It's in the hands of JT as well. Grim will go down quickly, and a chance at least doing some damage from the rafters, but it looks likely to be all they do here as the bomb will go down. Brolan find Horzak, and now it's just about saving the AK.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do. You can only have it in one position. They never showed up. That's kind of the end of the story there. But for NIP, it's huge, right? They get into a position now, 4 rounds on their T side. It's starting to look a lot better at the moment here. and they could maybe even keep it running even after this. The economy will be there for complexity, but it's going to be questionable. Hampers to clean it up, even stealing the AK at the end.
The old classic spray and pray there, bringing that turn back. You get fully blind, hold on mouse one, hope for the best.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, and it works out. There's no better feeling when you think you're done for and you're just spraying and you actually get the kill blind. It's the best feeling. So he'll be thanking his lucky stars, but there it is, 5-4 NIP. Are back online here, courtesy of a config 1v3. They take 2 rounds in a row, and the money is starting to stabilize here. Also, all comes out, but certainly concessions to be made. A distinct lack of kits and utility across the board. No helmets, and also recognizing that fact, we're getting aggressive towards ramp from here. He's joined by Floppy as well, so trying to find a similar pick they did before with Grim towards the hut, knowing they're on the back foot in terms of firepower, trying to find an advantage early on. This time not so lucky, but Floppy has gained trophy room control at least. They can focus their efforts a bit more to outside on the CT defense here.
Liege still really confident. I kind of like that. He's been playing well, and he's up to 11 kills. I feel like if they can establish a bit of a precedent out here that if you go yard, you're going to have to fight a Liege, and that might be very, very difficult. That would give them some more defensive capabilities elsewhere, right? If you can push NIP somewhere else, so they're not getting pushed around so much at the moment. They're actually coming straight at a Liege. And when this smoke fades in the garage, I wonder if he's going to be ready for it. There's 2 people up close, even a third one nearby. All of the pressure on a Liege.
Oh, he's rising to the occasion though, Anders. 1.5 frags. That will do. Hallzerk in a prime position to find multiple frags here. Finds Brolan, moves back to the defensive line, and they are brave as ever. Challenging him dry like that. Hallzerk devours head trick, and they find themselves a 4 versus 2 here. Rez, config, 30 seconds remaining, and now just 1 player. This one is done. So very well held there by Complexity. Holding those defensive lines. Hallzerk especially working in tandem there with a Liege, and we will find round number 6. So maintaining the lead at least as Config once again is trying to cause financial damage here. If he finds another kill, he's done that for sure. 10 seconds remaining. Walking in towards main, and they don't need to challenge him here. He has got the bomb, and he gets yet another frag. That should be it though. Great work from Config. That's about all he was worth there. If he gets a plant somehow, maybe he wins the round, but good positioning, and Complexity will find round number 6 here. Just a few to go. Liege, like you said, he had to step up there. 1.5 kills though. That will do.
It's not bad at all, especially given what he was up against.
Yeah.
But still, Config taking that from being only 1 casualty on the side of Complexity all the way down to 3. So still kind of scary, right?
Significant for sure. Rebuying into this round, they're still going to be his side of things with 7 kills, and looking like he's finding some serious impact towards that lower bomb side. Floppy towards ramp alone this time, as we'll see Hallzerk challenging. Combative AWPing is what we'd love to see, as Brolan will jump down the barrel. And now a 5-on-4 once again. Liege not happy with that advantage though, wants a bit more, Anders.
I really love it. They tried this earlier, just showing themselves out here, and now they're back fighting, putting a lot of pressure on NIP. Liege, gotta be careful he doesn't get stuck here, but he reads the situation well. He knew what was coming. I think he was backpedaling, crouching, and still got the headshot spray to take down Config, but he's out here and he can't escape, and somehow they bring it back into a 3-on-3, and now Hallzerk's being pulled back out, saying, you know what? I thought our job was done out of the yard, but it turns out it's not.
Yeah, I could see what Liege was going for there, but the fact he goes down with an equal trade actually sacrifices quite a lot of control, and you can see they're spread quite thin now. I'd expect some sort of reaction from Floppy eventually. He's holding towards ramp. They know there's presence towards outside here, so what's the reaction? The final
pulling
play.
Everyone out. Even Floppy's giving up the ramp. This seems like a bit of an over-rotation, although with the setup with the flash, that's Floppy. That's why he left the ramp. So you know what? Fair play. What a setup. I was going to say, if you're just defending outside, that seems like a big risk. But yeah, with the setup like that and the spray from Grim, that's everything you could have wanted. 35 seconds for the 1-on-2.
Well, that's what CSGO is all about in the modern game right now, reacting to these scenarios. How can you actually get the most out of this? Sitting statically, waiting for them to come around, wasn't going to work out for them, had to make a bit of a gamble, and it's Floppy with the outside flash and the closing frag as well. Really excellent performance there from Ricky. Didn't see a ton of people, but certainly got the job done, and finds round number 7 for Complexity. We'll have a look at the replay here. It was that opening frag from Hallzerk as well. Bayonets for Roland to open things up there, and nice little spray down from Grim as well. I think that was required. He's had some massive contributions today. Remember his 4 kills with the AWP on Inferno. He keeps saving the day, and he's finding opening frags here on maps like Nuke when they're down, when they don't have any pistols or FAMASs. He knows he has to step up, and this is some vintage Grim. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I only just noticed they got the 20 years of complexity shirts on as well, which I think is historically just very cool. Jason Lake gave a whole speech about that, which I think was very emotional. Good to see. This is a bit of a rush into the bomb site. Holzerk making it a 2-on-3. Otherwise, they could have really lost control of the site. They might still lose the plant here and actually give it up to NIP, but they should be able to get the retake in. NIP in a very tough position down below, although one thing is there. Shot straight for the feet of Floppy to get a headshot. Still bomb just now being attempted again. Rez, he's picked up the M4 and he's ready for it. 1 versus 2 for him in the corner.
What have you got, Rez? A nice incendiary to buy him time to reposition here. That's key. He knows he's out of position and has to find a quick frag, and my God, does he ever deliver? A huge shot towards main entrance. 1 versus 1 now, up against Holzerk, who will drop down silently, I may add as well. Rez seems to be 1 step ahead, though, and he will find a 2 versus 1 clutch. Amazing performance there. And once again, it was those Tech 9s, and it's the Thorn and Complexity side. They get taken down by pistols once more.
That silent drop is so sick. And
I wasn't 100% sure. It was silent, though, right?
I think it was. And the fact
I went with it.
That Rez saw it coming as well. It's very hard. That's something you have to be so aware of, is that you might be betrayed by your own brain in some of those moments.
Exactly. How many times have we seen ZywOo with that silent drop and then clutch out the round? It's a very viable approach. If you can pull it off, you should absolutely go for it. Nice footwork there from Holzerk, but it wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. And it's going to be the force buy here. As we enter round number 13. Once again, Hampus, a nuisance. As he sneaks his way down towards lower. Floppy, waiting by the smoke, though. Drop towards the ramp room. And this is looking clinical. NIP reading all the aggression coming through from the CT side here. Elise tries his luck as well. Swiped back by Headtrick. And also, though, that's a kill. That one at least is guaranteed, but he only gets the Mac 10 for it, so it doesn't really mean anything for him.
Yeah, I think it's probably nice for Hampus to be able to just take that run, not risking too much. Holzerk, yeah, a little bit. All right, he's found a free one on the conflict, and this time he can upgrade a little bit more. To Galil, he's taking, 1 step at a time. Maybe the next one will be an AK. He's real lucky, but yeah, this is going to be 6 rounds for NIP. I feel like the fact that they won that earlier round was just such a momentum swing.
The 1v3?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what Config's there to do. That's why he's in these teams. That's why he gets the call up, because he can make the magic happen when required. Not only in the individual fragging department, opening up rounds, but he has clutch ability through the roof. As just Holzerk here, unfortunately. And bear in mind, Anders, loss bonus is not in a kind spot. They only get $1,900 per player into the next round. So that's a saved Galil in the hands of Europa. He got a Molotov as well, I suppose, but they need to save for this last round. They get 2,400 into the next, so logic dictates they want to have even M4s going forward. They have to take a full eco here. Maybe Holzerk could drop a pistol. That's about it.
I mean, even highlighted by Hampus in that interview, right, saying it's nice not to have the biggest balls anymore.
I guess that's a very good point. Like, sure, NIP have gone back to their Swedish roots, but they've certainly got some Danish dynamite at the tip of the spear, haven't they?
That's what you want, and I think that it's actually been like a thing in Swedish Counter-Strike for so long. For all of the huge, historic players that they've had, many of them have been way less aggressive. They've just been mechanical gods, but they haven't necessarily had that a real playmaking ability that you sometimes, I feel like, have been lacking in Swedish Counter-Strike. So yeah, sail across the water, not that far. Steal someone from Denmark, why not?
Yeah, it's a good point. I guess you can answer this a little bit. They're speaking English, right? There's no way a Danish person could come in and understand Swedish unless you actually know the language specifically, right?
I think it can be done. I'm pretty sure S-Tag learned pretty quickly.
I guess I take S-Tag as a different example. He's like a freak of a human and he's super smart. Like, I feel like he's like the kind of guy that would know multiple languages.
I certainly couldn't, shout out to all my Swedish homies.
Okay, so you're here admitting you couldn't do it. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah. It's actually worse because I feel it's worse if you understand like 60% of what people are saying and they're trying to communicate to you and you're like, you have to stop every once and say, what does that mean again?
Okay, I was thinking it would be more like, oh, I'm an English person and this guy's got a Scottish accent. It's a little bit difficult to understand it, but no, it's like a completely different language, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay.
I mean, there probably is like a large overlap, but I'm just terrible at it.
Fair enough.
Let's put it like this. Whenever I go to Sweden, I just speak English, like from the start. I don't even give it a shot. Like, I'm not even going to try. We're just doing that.
I just go with the say Shena to everyone. That normally works out.
There we go.
They smile back.
But yeah, someone smarter than me, I think, could probably learn eventually. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, like it said in the interview, I'm pretty sure that they're coming in English.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I know that we've had Trick in the roster, of course. I was just saying, like, if there was another suite available, would like the config, like, could he step up? That's what I was getting at. But here we go, ladies and gents. Round number 15. Who will be taking the half? We split it right down the middle once again, and Brolan emphatically makes his way in towards main entrance here. Grim will go down. And that's a massive problem here. You can see JT's on an absolute island, needs the rotations to come through. It won't happen in time. They are smoked off towards heaven. Brolan will find his second of the round, finally shut down by Floppy, but he will need multiple frags to salvage this one.
What a heroic jump from Floppy. I can't believe he risked so much jumping down there, but so what? He got the kill for now, at least 4 versus 3, and still no bomb plant in sight. They're kind of frozen in time here, waiting by the squeak door, and what they're waiting for is config sneaking up, but he misses the shot. How is that even possible for all the miraculous rounds that he's had?
It's always at heaven. It's always on Nuke. The shot's in the back. There's something about that position.
How does it work? He just needed to give such an easy kill to get. He gave it up.
I guess he had that kind of split second to decide, am I going to go for 2 frags? True. Am I going to just see what I can find out of this scenario? Thankfully, Hampus brings it back to at least a winning situation. Hetrick, left with Rez, 2-on-2, and they're making way through ramp here. It's going to be Rez, AWP in hand, and as mentioned, he is pretty handy with the weapon itself. And both players towards a main entrance and in between lower and upper right now. So Floppy, he's in trouble. If the AWP swings at him, he might go down quickly, but he is ready for it.
Classic. Send in the low player first and then try and see if you could get the follow-up here. And Elige, he made the choice 10 seconds earlier to go down the ramp in or go down the vent instead. Going to try and get back out of there, but again, he's very low. A bullet away from dead. Hetrick, he just needs it and he can't find it. Elige able to pick it up. A good double on him. Puts him at 16 and puts Complexity at 8 rounds at the end of the half. That is so worth it. Oh, he's celebrating.
You've got a bit of showmanship there towards the end. Elige winning a massive clutch, a 1 versus 1 there to close things out. They find round number 8 here, Anders. And once again, we split it right down the middle. Nothing separating these two teams. And I suppose it's time to take a quick break. We'll be back with the second. 2023, a moment config will want to live to forget, Anders. What are your thoughts on that one?
Oh, it's devastating to watch. Why are they showing that replay? You know, he got the 1 versus 3 earlier. Show us that one, but this is painful. Yeah, head in your hand. That's the kind of moment.
And it's the final round as well to decide who gets 8, who gets 7. And it was looking very good. They had full positional control. They had the upper bomb site, and he misses out on the easiest kill of the entire half. You hate to see it.
Yeah, but overall, he played really, really well. And they're still in competition here to play and win Nuke. There's no doubt about it. This is their map pick. And they should still be pretty good once it comes to the CT side. So I'm not too concerned.
Oh, no, certainly not.
Obviously, this could have been 8-7 the other way at a minimum.
Just the juxtaposition of what config has been putting down so far for that final round is just alarming. He has been playing very well, to say the very least. As we'll see an upper rush. Config looking for some revenge here. He'll get the opening frag. That's all he finds. Nice entrance towards up here. Floppy and Elige find a headshot apiece. But the round's certainly not done just yet. We are going to see JT holding towards Lobby. He needs to fend off Rez.
Yeah, good insurance policy to have. Rez not really showing himself yet. He's a bit worried that someone's going to be there. Might have spotted the tip of the barrel, but his teammates are falling on the other side. Good double tap for Rez to take the headshot on JT, but with the bomb already planted. And he's the only one with any real health here. I don't see how he can get back into the round. I think at this point, you're already calling it off, saying it's not really worth it to go for anything here.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Like a very different round coming out from Complexity, right? We saw the slow rounds where NIP tried to sneak around with the P250.
Working the picks.
Complexity are they're straight in there.
Balls to the wall.
I like it.
Glock in hand. Getting the job done. It was a nice opening frag from the CTs as well. Looked like they'd done enough there, but difficult to contain the Glocks. The snowball can turn into an avalanche very quickly. And indeed, they rolled through, double headshot found, bomb planted. And as you mentioned, JT watching those rotations as well, that was more than enough. After Floppy and Elige cracked open the A-bomb site here. Excellent work. Nice shot from Rez. It's about all they really got going in that round, unfortunately. And it will be a shake of the head there from Brolan. It's going to be a difficult one going forward, as it will be 4 spying into round number 17 here. Deagles, 5-7s, and a Rez FAMAS. They've got a decent amount of utility as well. No kit, just to note that. We'll see Floppy just trying to get some initial control towards Squeaky. Lurk smoke enables him control towards the hut. It's a key fight, and damage done. And Grim picking up the frags with Floppy and Elige here. This is textbook stuff. Really well done. Another upper execution that works out very well.
So much of the A defense just hinging on whether or not you win the fight for the smoke or the spray on top of hut there.
Right.
Because as soon as he's out of bullets and reloading and trying to sort of crouch in the hut, he's definitely dead. they're going to be swarming in from everywhere. So great call coming out. It's going to be 10 on the side of Complexity, and just Brolin and Hetrick hoping that they can save the guns into the next round, really. But they're in such a good position right now. No doubt about it. They need 6 rounds after this one. Overpass would be the deciding map between these two teams, and I feel like, again, for Complexity, with the way that this project is looking, I mean, it's so early days, but you mentioned it already on Inferno. JT still with the good calls.
Absolutely.
Overall, they look like a team that could be fun to watch.
Yeah, you got to respect the calling of JT and his T sides as well, the way he presents his strategies with the kind of focus on flashbangs, generally speaking, and it's very difficult to handle. It seems like everyone's well versed in the squad on how to reclaim positions that have been lost, how to get the most effective flash upon entry, and yeah, it's great to see. They're currently up 10-7 on their opponent's map pick. They've had 2 great rounds in the second half, forcing NIP down to a full eco. We're going to have 5-7. A Deagle, that's safe from the previous round, however, so you know you're in a pretty rough spot when you're saving pistols, and that's the best you've got going into the next round. So should be a foregone conclusion. We should be seeing Complexity running away with this one, but you never know, Anders. As we've always come to learn here in CSGO, you're never safe. Anything can happen at any time.
Yeah, there's some interesting prospects still that could happen, right? I think Conflict's probably still going to be pretty dangerous on the CT side. I'm still low-key waiting for Hetrick to show me something more with the AWP. And on this
Same.
map, I mean, this is where you really could do it.
I just want to, like, they've had 4 days frac, right? The first game, it's not been, the system hasn't been built around him yet.
True.
You know, like, that might take a bit more time. This is down to the players like Config. This is where he thrives. This is his arena.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Yeah, so they just want to let him off the leash. You'd probably like to see a bit more from that from Hetrick as well. They probably need that sort of mentality, that kind of killer instinct from this young man as well. But we'll see what can be done here. As mentioned, huge advantage of Complexity here. Upper execute has been their friend, but now they're just feigning it, just suggesting they're going back toward Faithful. They've caught the rotations here. They've caught the CTs in transition, but this could get a little bit awkward. Oh, they handle it very well indeed. You could see the CTs knife out, everyone scuttling off towards the upper bomb site, and they were actually in the prime position to do something with that. But Complexity shut down their hopes and dreams and only give up 1 single kill there. 11-7, Anders, looking good.
Yeah, they were ready. They wanted it. I mean, that's typically you will over-rotate when you don't have anything to work with anyway. You're like, well, you know, the only way that we can win is if we are quick on the rotation. Maybe not going to happen. It's a 4-round gap here at 11-7. All been picked up on Hetrick once again. Very, very curious how it's going to play. He's got no armor, right? It's just him and his ult, so it better be something spectacular here, or it's going to be too late. Brolin getting really pressured. Does he realize how far in they are? That's really risky. He's
dropped the smoke at least to suggest you shouldn't come through this. I'm ready and waiting down towards the lower bomb site, and he's done enough at least. They won't be chasing him down towards lower. They are going to reset the round, though. That is key territory on Nuke. It takes away a lot of vision, forces rotation. You can see a player's had to drop down towards lower already. So it weakens other areas of the map. This gauge will be upper and towards the upper and outside. So Config up close. It does work out. That's a nice reaction. Had to step up, and he finds a very key frag. Make it a double. That's more like it.
When we mention the term playmaking, that's what we're talking about. Walking through the smoke, finding a gap there, it's so sick, isn't it?
That sort of play kind of encapsulates the modern game right now. That's, if you lose key territory on the map, you have to be making those sort of plays. You cannot allow a world-class team to have full control of someone like Ramp with 5 players and fully execute on you when you've got 1 player there. Someone had to step up, someone had to make them uncomfortable, and Config. It's a classic play, sitting in the squeaky smoke, but they did not anticipate it whatsoever. And now Brolan, defending their order towards lower, but gets nothing for it. Has to swing. And now this round's right back on. 30 seconds here. Hampus might secure it. They might go for the swing and try to deny the plant, but it's going to go down regardless.
That is ice cold for JT. He didn't even come off the bomb when the door opens. He's like, I'm going to stick it here.
They could win this.
Yeah, they could. It's very low chance, but there might be a way to do it. Grim in the back line. JT is going to be going down, so now it's all on Grim, and it's too much. Config shows up. 4 kills on him in the round. He started it, and he ended it. And now Complexity a little bit further pressured here because it's 11-8. They do have some money in the bank, but NIP, they're not on a long break into the second half, right? They pick it up pretty quickly.
Well, there it is. The sledgehammer himself taking matters into his own hands and busting through the squeaky door. It's a pretty common play, as I mentioned, sitting in the smoke here. You're normally playing for the fade, but he actually had a gap. I'm not sure if that was by design on the CT side, but you're normally waiting for the fade completely. So very good awareness of the scenario. Gets 4 kills in total and takes him up to 22 kills and 16 deaths. Closest player to him is going to be Rez with 13. So a lot of work to be done, but we'll see if this is where they come online on the CT side. Scoreline is now 11-8 or 3-1 overall as Rez opens things up here in round number 20.
Between Rez and Config, they're doing a really good job. They just need a third player.
Yeah.
I don't really care if it's Hetrick or Brolan, but one of those two probably has to try and catch up to them a little bit, and they should be in a fine position. Good refrag coming in. Hampus goes down, and just when he thought he was safe, Hetrick able to catch JT. That's unfortunate because so much of the strategy is going to usually involve getting at least one player down secret on the T side, and now they're going to have to do it again, and this time Rez is ready.
Well, that's the most impactful kill Hetrick's had so far. This is a huge round.
True.
Can't stress that enough. The fact he's brought it back from a 4-on-4, giving them the lead here. Bit of a wall bang. We are going to see 1 minute on the clock and just 1 smoke remaining for Complexity. Hoping for some mistakes here. But the setup is looking pretty good. Hetrick peeling off back towards the ramp. And they're going to be focusing their efforts towards, at least for now, a squeaky door. They've got no smoke. Actually, Horzog does find one with the AWP, but they're looking for a pick first.
40 seconds on the clock. They need the opening kill, and they're going to get it too. Grim goes for the early shot there. Config still alive, and he's going to get the 1 kill. Rez will follow it up, and Holzerk, he needed that one to be very clean. He's surely going to get run down. He picks up one and can't quite get the full 180 in, so the USP of Config will take him down right at the end, but that got kind of close.
It really did. The only reason they secure that one quite comfortably is Config got yet another kill cleanly through the smoke, Anders. Just as they got the opening kill, there was a nice wall bang there from Hetrick. Just as they got the opening kill towards Upper, this is what Config did. Straight through the smoke. I think they lose that round if he doesn't get that kill. I looked way too good. They pounced at the perfect time. That's CSGO for you. Cannon will happen. Config's in the zone right now, finding multiple frags every single round. This is troublesome. Complexity forced by in the round number 21, maybe picking up the pacer as well. UMP in the hand for Horzerk. He managed to get a double kill with it on Inferno. Can he replicate that success? Time will tell as they make their way towards main. It's scrappy for Elige, and he's punished as Rez will get a double kill.
I like seeing that, though. That's not normally the kind of play you'd see Elige ever go for, right? Like, he'd normally try and throw someone else in there, or he'd be a little bit of a different structure, but he really went for it. Flashed almost all the way in there. He had the early fight. Look at how low Rez is. And Elige has 22 kills. I'd love to see more of that from Elige, because he's got the mechanical skill to win a fight like that. Any other day, he probably trades it, and the whole bomb site's wide open. So I wouldn't be fooled by the fact that it doesn't work in this particular round. It all hinges on that 1 kill.
I would dare to speculate as well. That was a bit of a Hail Mary sort of situation there. The fact that they had the Galil, they had a couple of pistols in the mix. It was a force buy. I think they had a good spawn, and Elige said, I'm going to try this play. I don't think that was something they've really gone over. It was quite scrappy. And then you're right, if he gets that first kill, you never know. But Rez, super solid towards Upper. He gets the double kill towards main entrance, and indeed Hut. And we'll see a full eco, pretty much, from Complexity. A scout for Elige. Not known to be a sniper, Anders. I think that's fair to say, and maybe for good reason, as Hampus will remove him from the equation. Speaking of which, though, Floppy in his specialist area towards the ramp will find one. That's going to be Brolan, but well handled. Hetrick does maintain the advantage. Brolan just typing nice shot in the chat, just to know that. Got to commend your opponents, as we'll see Grim actually find a bit of footing here, Anders.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, you know, that looked like a really confident shot from Hetrick, but then he walks into the next one and still goes down.
Yeah.
So he's not building any momentum for his own game, is what it feels like. It feels like every once in a while he's there, he'll get a kill or two, and then he kind of goes missing quite a bit. So I want to see that change. Good bomb plant coming through here, and with Grim and Holzerk, I don't know, anything can still happen. This could be a round for Complexity.
Yeah, Grim is a sicko. We all know it. He'll need this kill to open things up. It's Holzerk that beats into the punch. So beautiful Deagle headshot. Hampus recovers the scenario, though. 2 versus 1. They know Grim's here.
They got the smoke as well on Hampus. And on Rez. They can try and block him off. They should try and force the issue. Close the door behind them as well. He's going to know that they're inside somewhere. The spray is good. It's Grim to get the kill. And now we can back off again. Rez just almost has to go for it. He just has to keep going. Can they get another one right through? It's close. They're whizzing right past us here, but the defuse is in. Rez will pick it up. And that is heartbreaking for Grim. If he could have done it again, they would have had such a good position.
Absolutely stone cold from Rez there. had to be tricky with that full defuse. He knew that Grim had his number. Left, right, and center. He had all the advantages he could ever ask for there. But going for the defuse, dropping the secondary smoke, dropping the flashbang as well, it was more than enough to secure the round. And you see Grim, oh, it's so unfortunate. And the flashbang catches him as well. He knows the round's over. Great effort. 2 versus 3 doesn't go in their favor, but it certainly leaves a mark. As we go 11-11, Complexity now with the full buy.
A good game. And that's good. We kind of maybe forgot a little bit about it. Floppy, he was supposed to be sort of the star of the next generation of NA players.
Yeah.
And in some ways, he could be, right? Like, he still is a really, really competent player. So get him in the mix, get him to play with the leash, and maybe they can rub off on each other a little bit. It could be really exciting. Tied up this game now, 11-11. Config is really what is shutting down this game for Complexity. They are just having a very, very hard time challenging him and consistently winning those fights. He is still feeling way too confident. And they need this round so badly.
Yeah. They have certainly started to slow down here. After going out 3-0 at the start of their T-side campaign, they've now given up 4 rounds in a row. Lost bonus building up, sure, but these rounds have been pretty convincing for NIP as they look to take the lead here. It's going to be just a lobby hold for now as they posture for control. Elige waiting for the fade on the smoke, but he's got the raid boss on the other side. It's going to be Config with Rez as well. Big spray down comes in, but it's a double kill for Floppy. That's more like it, showing some of that star power. Surely that's the round done. But Hampus, the last line of defense, without that molly going down, maybe he has a chance to do something about it. But that will send him packing. And yeah, that's all down to Floppy. Great stuff from him. North America's finest, perhaps.
Some really good flashes to set that one up, because I feel like otherwise Rez at least gets one of those kills, but he just didn't get the spray, and he must have been at least partially flashed on that second fight. So a bit unfortunate, but a great call coming out for Complexity. And a 12-11 squad. They're 1 round lead. It's a step in the right direction, but man, this is turning into a scary game.
The brutal flashbangs once again.
Yeah.
You can see that from Complexity. That's not a full execution right there. That's just a basic set piece. They're going in with those very powerful flashbangs, buying himself 1 or 2 seconds to get out of squeaky door, and if players like Floppy connect the dots, so that's a round in the bag. So everything comes together there for Complexity. They'll actually be looking to take the lead as well as we go 12-11. Well done to Ricky. I'll have a look at the replay here. So they've helped blind everyone as well. Like you can see, Rez just couldn't get anything done. He's trying to dodge them as well, but it's by design. As soon as he turns back, there's a second flash in his face, and that's a huge round. But money certainly not broken. After winning 4 rounds in a row, NIP have more than enough to buy. A little bit of residual cash. They lose this one, they will be broken. So this is another swing round here. Complexity will be looking to replicate the success of the previous round if possible. It's Floppy to go towards the ramp to kick things off.
They've had to
look like anything like the start.
They've had to work so hard to get in the position where they got the economy this low for NIP. So if they fail to capitalize on it now, you might not get the chance again. You really have to do something with this decent nade. Thought it was going to be a little bit more, but I guess just mostly Grim taking a bit of damage from it. And Brolin playing in the ramp room and alone.
This is a difficult spot. You're normally getting one and dropping down here. The flashbang makes it incredibly uncomfortable. He knows he can't really do anything with it. Sacrifices the incendiary as well. It seems like Complexity have a very good read as to how Brolin's playing that position. That flashbang, it's all they need to get full control of the position. So now they're actually going towards Hell. And Hampus is surely dead. I can't see a world where he recovers this one, and that is going to be a fumble. Floppy capitalizes upon it, finds the advantage, and they're going in towards upper.
Yeah, Hetrick has to win this fight. JT, he actually made a bit of noise.
Yeah.
I feel like Hetrick must have heard that, but...
He should have had that kill, to be honest, but we'll see if there's anything left to be said about the round.
Surely not. I feel like, and what a difference it makes, right? If they get the kill on JT, then they can still try and angle for the retake, but now they're completely locked out.
Yeah, that was the only way back into the round. Hetrick gets a quick kill there, spins on a dime, looks towards main. Maybe they fend them off. They still are likely to lose the round there, but that was the only way back into it. Complexity starting to come online once again.
And Hampus really getting caught, right? He definitely did not realize.
Well, that's the thing. Like, when Brolan is confirmed, he's dropped the incendiary, and there's a chance it can go towards Hell. He made so much noise. He shot out the window, then leapt through it as well.
Yeah.
Floppy couldn't believe his luck. He was trying to get ready for the guaranteed kill that was available to him. But like Hampus just leaping in to the lion's jaw there. It was a little bit disappointing, but I guess that maybe the comms are a little bit off. It's down to Brolan to communicate how deep they are, where they can get to. Maybe he just said he was dropping and that was it. So either way, as you can see after jumping through the window, Floppy almost pre-firing there towards lockers. And like we said, Head Trick unfortunately had to get that kill in his favor to stand a chance in the round. So now the money is going to be an interesting spot. A precarious one if you're an NIP fan, as they'll take their third tactical timeout here. It was a very close affair on Inferno. The Ninjas managed to win 16-14, but...
Interrupted. It might have been the grenade that actually did stop the plant, but my God, I can't believe that's a 2-on-3 that Complexity should not have lost.
It's all down to Brolan there. We called him on the previous round. Looked like he was getting battered and bruised towards ramp, but anything but. He rises to the occasion here. Great rotation. Sure, easier frags by his standards, but ones that count immensely going forward now. That saves the day for an IP, keeps him in this map, and a chance to win it now. As we'll see them right back into a full buy. AK-47 for Config. Another very important round for both teams. Both of them feeling the financial burn.
Do you feel like they should have doubled up on the ramp room at some point here? Like going for the boost? Like, should they help out Brolan more than they are at the moment?
I guess it's just down to the comms. It's okay him going down. As long as he's not dying a lot, that's fine. It's just the way he's not really having much impact. They've neutralized him, right? So now him getting a couple of frags, who knows? But it is going to be Hampus towards outside. And with the gap, Head Trick, you've got to hit those. You've got to.
Yeah, they even gave you it for free. Config is down here, and he's trying. And just like we always see with almost every Config clip, there's no falling back. He's going to keep on fighting no matter what. Head Trick wishes he could have had that kill. Now he's alone instead, and it's way too late to start picking up a couple of shots now.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He's had a couple of misses so far, but that's one of the bigger ones. You gifted a gap in the smoke, right? Yeah, your teammates are dropping like flies towards that side, and a lifeline presents itself. A clean kill through the gap, and he just whiffs it. It goes right through the wickets, and unfortunately, that's another round where if he gets that kill and survives, you never know. It was looking good for Complexity once again, sabotaging the efforts here towards the upper bomb site. It's where NIP have had a real problem, but it was outside the issue this time. Hampus going down early. The missed orb shot, just too many openings for Complexity, and they have capitalized upon them. You see that all the team pretty much contributing there. Floppy, JT, Hulzerk, Elysial finding kills. Just Head Trick remaining. He did find one kill towards lower, but that's when the round was pretty much done. You could see that was where Grim and JT were just trying to present some sort of aggro towards the other side of the map. But 14-12, and as mentioned, sure, they won a difficult round before with the Brolan rotation from ramp, but if they lose that previous round number 26, they've saved an AWP and they've got $2,000 per player with the scoreline of 14-12.
And this is getting really out of control now. NIP, the moment in time when they could have turned this around and really saved themselves from being in this position, it's kind of...
To be the force buy. They saved an AWP. Head Trick will have to step up here in a pretty difficult series so far for him. An M4 for Config. He's been absolutely lights out. Floppy with the lurk smoke once again, maybe trying to get down the vent this time. Focuses his efforts towards Hub. And he's got maybe a kill on towards Rez there. Can spot him. And now working his efforts towards main. Great stuff.
Head Trick, there's one kill at least going his way. A Molotov burn on him, and Grim will open it back up again. This is so flawless, isn't it? They had such a good read on everything. I think they called out those positions for the CTs almost instantly. And the Molotov in the back, and then the fact that Grim can just clear out that close right corner, it just looked so easy for him. It's going to be 15 on the side of Complexity. They had no fear on that one. And I mean, some of the effect that they've had on the T side has been going to the ramp to bully Brolan. Right. But they're not even doing that anymore. Now they're just winning all over the place.
Well. Complexity shining brightly on their T sides today. Perfect calling from JT. Seems to have a real strong understanding of where the weaknesses lie for an IP. If you are just joining us and wondering what's happening, why there's so much hype around this tournament, we've just had roster mania here, and these two teams were contributing to that for sure. We've got Hampus coming back from a little bit of a break. I think he's gone for about 3 months or so, and he's now back as the in-game leader for an IP, but they've had 4 days of practice. So sure, he will have something in his arsenal. He'll have some blueprints to work with, but overall they are not looking like their usual selves. And Complexity bringing in the Liege as well. He's actually playing very well here on Nuke. They're actually looking pretty good today. Like, sure, they didn't win that first map, but like we said, their T-sides are looking decent. They're going to take the second map almost certainly, probably in this round. Then it's Overpass next. A bit of a Complexity special, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if this is the starting point for a team like Complexity, and they still have, you know, months and months to build something with and kind of like prove everything, this could actually be real interesting. So I'm not too sad about the way the things are going, although this is a bit of a change here. Head Trick with 2 big kills on the Deagle, looking for a third, which he can't get denied by Floppy. brings it back into a 3-on-3, and it's NIP now fighting for overtime, hoping that they can get there to avoid overpass. I bet you that they would want to do anything to not play that map right now.
Yeah.
Just close the book on complexity, but it's not going to be easy.
Certainly not. The first incision has been made. It's going to be JT bringing us into a 3 versus 2. They have full ramp control, a ton of information to go with it. Looks like they're splitting towards upper, and it's just the Hampus Scout with no armor, a Brolan pistol, and 30 seconds remaining as we look very likely to go to a third here.
Yeah, they're just going to be walking out. They're going to find him right in the middle of the bomb site, and that's an easy kill. His teammate nowhere nearby to get anything in return. What a tough game for NIP overall on this map, but maybe especially for Brolan. He really did get beat up quite a lot in that position.
Config as well, posting 25 plus kills on both maps. So he's going to be a little bit gutted with that one. At least he's in great form, you know. Overpass next, though, as I mentioned. That is the pocket pick usually for complexity. That's when their attack really shines brightly. And it does once again here on Nuke. Excellent performance. They will be taking their opponent's pick and looking damn good while doing it, Anders.
Yeah, they really are. Well done. JT at the end getting the